Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Pocket Change. Yeah, with your new setup there, you look, you're taller. I
Uh,
don't know what it is.
it's a little different in the camera here, folks. I got a new chair. You probably noticed the. Let's see if we can get this tilted up just a little bit. That's going to turn it sideways. I got a new tripod here. It's not new, it's new from using this. That might be a little bit better.
Yeah,
But
now we.
I tell you what, folks, let's do this, Benz. I'm going to spin around here. You guys can see
Mm-hmm.
Starbucks and tools and everything here, the purple wall. I'm going to give it just a
Yeah,
little bit of a quick tour. So I said I was going to do this, was going to reveal this. I'm going to pick the camera up. I'm going to try not to make everybody Blair Witch sick. If you don't know that reference, then you're probably too young to be watching this. All right, so here we go. So we're going to turn this way there. You can see the ugly duckling sitting there still. Switch on the wall and a new door right there that I mounted in.
nice.
And of course, if I spin on around this way, you're going to see back through the opening there. That's going into the other room where I was sitting. But I am in here. Spin back around this way. The camera's really wanting to get out of focus. I've
Yeah,
not got it all completely mudded in yet. And we'll slide over this way here. There's the wood stove coming on around. I don't have it completely all in yet, but it is definitely a
getting there.
welcome sight to be in here, folks. Yes, that is a heater back there. There is going to be HVAC unit mounted over here on the wall. One of those mini splits when this is all said and done. Of course, that's going to stay more storage over here because this was the unfinished part. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, all this was cinder block when I first started, and now it has been sealed, insulated, whole 9 yards. Yes, it's still concrete floors, but this is a whole lot better than what it was. I was able to take out the old pull chain. I'll show you right quick. So over here above the door, if I tilt it up, that was the only light that was in this room. Old broke pull chain, and now I've got can lights mounted. There's 4 can lights mounted in here,
Cool.
so adequate light for the camera. The desk table, I'm using a pop out table for right now. I'm roughing it in my new eBay room, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm glad to be in here. Pretty soon, this will be all mudded in and painted and everything on the wall, and we should be good to go getting the exercise room over there and the rest of the basement back the way my wife wants it, which is
Yeah.
always good. If you are a reseller, try your best to keep certain rooms in the house the way your spouse wants them because you can annoy them very quickly. You want to enlighten us about some of that, Ben?
Yeah, don't sneak stuff into the bed. Yeah, the other bedrooms that don't really get used, and then they find it, and they're like, "What is this?
We'll
I
say
run
this.
out of room."
Here lately, here I'm in North Carolina, here in the Piedmont area, we've been having down in the just barely double digits temperatures at night. And so I have, when I come down in the mornings to work down here, because this is my office as well for work, I have to run the space heater. All of us can't have 60-degree weather year round like somebody in Florida.
It's been cold here, man. It's
Yeah.
like in the 40s and stuff.
Yeah. Hey, it did snow in Destin, Florida. I did see that on the beach.
I had to, I had to pull a jacket out and wear it. It was crazy, man. Not a coat, but a jacket.
Yeah, yeah, I know we're all wearing full coats and blizzard protections, but anyway, it's a good feeling to be in here, folks. And I know Mike recognizes these holes on the wall back here.
Yeah.
Those are where outlets will be. Now you may say, why did you put them up that high? The idea for that is I want to put cabinets along this wall for storage for reselling items, and then have the
Yeah.
counter space for taking pictures. The wall over here where the ugly duckling's at is going to be flat black.
Hmm.
The reason it's going to be flat black is because flat black is for taking pictures of artwork, folks.
No.
You try to plan these things out, but I appreciate each and every one of you bearing with me. And I know you heard me talk about, hey, I'm over this wall. There will be more coming. You will see it change, but you're going to see the changes in the videos from here on out. But awesome time to be in here.
Yeah, I still got the same crap behind me. Well,
I
we'll
don't
see.
know.
In a
It looked
couple of
like
weeks,
you
we might get
cleaned
some
up
rest.
a little bit earlier. Maybe sold some stuff out over here
And maybe.
to your, I guess it's your left.
I'm probably trying to straighten it a little bit before I go on my my jaunt to Savannah. So we'll see.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I did start my new job, so that's been a pain in the butt. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
It has slowed things down. It slowed this down as well as eBay. I finally did get some listing done over the last couple of days.
good.
So roughing it a little bit on listing, but
Yeah, it'll work out one way or another. So, how was your week? You sell anything this
I
week?
did not. I am trying my best though because I'm sitting here with that 64 cents and I know I got my store payment coming up. And so I am trying to get something sold. We'll talk about a few other things here. So I'm not going to have a buyer of the week. I'm not going to have a sell of the week. Sorry, folks, to be disappointing you on that. It's not for lack of trying
All
for the
right,
last week, though. I will say that. I have been making sure I'm trying to list something.
that's good.
And got some more things. Hopefully, it'll be listed over the weekend.
Yeah, you're at like 144, 140. No, what were you at?
At one
Like,
time, I was at 140, over 140. Yeah, at one time, and I sold all the way down to 91 or two, and
yeah,
now,
you're at
now I'm
105.
back
I
up to
noticed that.
105, which is pretty
Did you?
pretty.
I was in there. I don't remember seeing T-shirts before. Did you just list T-shirts
I
or?
have listed some T-shirts, which is probably the
Yeah,
wrong season of the year to list T-shirts, but they're
yeah,
what I
yeah.
got, so list them. Right now, I'm not being choosy. I'm just grabbing and listing. That's the whole thing right now. Just get some items back on. Even though I'm planning on really trying to have this in a working shape by February the 1st
All right.
and really get things rolling then on listing. That's my goal. Otherwise, I'm not going to hit my goal for the year.
No, you got a week, so get it going.
That's the truth. But so, how has your? I'll come back to some things I'm trying here in just a
Okay.
minute, but let's talk about your week. I know you've really been busy too. You've been pumping your butt out there like I have.
Yeah, I haven't really been focused on eBay at all. But this week I did $380 in sales. Sold 13 things. Average sale price was $30, 29.04.
And have you been listing?
I haven't listed anything in like 3 weeks
I'm
now.
wondering how long it's going to take to catch up with you.
Well, I think it has. I mean, there was a couple of decent sales in there. But I shipped everything, put $201.53 in my pocket.
So what I'm noticing, and I think if we looked at last week compared to this week, you had about the same dollar gross amount, but it
Yeah.
seems to me like you put a little bit more money in your pocket this week than
Yeah.
you did last week. We know last week I put 64 cents in my pocket according to eBay, but
Yeah. No, so last week I was at like 320 and put like 150. So the difference was this week sales were, I had two big sales, which made up almost $200 of that, 380. So the shipping didn't eat into it as much, so I put more in my pocket, right? So
so they were high dollar items, but not heavy
yeah,
items.
I don't know, they were heavy, but no, they weren't heavy. One was like a distributor for a Chevrolet V8,
Small block.
sold for 100, yeah, small box, sold for $109.
It's pretty good.
And I sold one of those cars, but an expensive one. So it's
124 diecast.
yeah, yeah. So that weighed 2 pounds and went into a 10 by 4 by 4 or 10 by 6 by 4. So they were small packages. The distributor was a little bit oddly shaped. It didn't have a box it would fit in,
Really?
so or it would have been super big. So what I did was I took a big box, cut it down, and just it was in a box already. So I just covered that box with a Franken box, and then took that and put it into a big poly bag and shipped it that way. Because dimensionally, it would have been,
Did it have the cap and everything with it? Or what?
yeah, it had everything with it.
Yeah. That would have been probably, and I'm just guessing, if we went back and measured, and you maybe can pull up your shipping specs, but it would probably would have been a 6 by 6 by 14 to 16 long.
I think it ended up being like 8 by 8 by. I think that's what I ended up with, 8 by 8 by 20 with the box. But it only weighed like 6 pounds. So
Yeah, they're not that heavy considering, but if you got them with the top housing and the cap and the rotor butt, if
yeah,
it's the full distributor replacement
yep,
drop
it
in,
was.
folks, that can be those items can be weird, and a lot of times what they come in from the store. If you buy them brand new Edelbrock or whatever, they usually come in a box. It's around 6 to 8 square at one end, and then shoots out about 16 to 20 inches, and then it's usually got the foam bags where they what it is it's a liquid, and then they pop the liquid and press it into it and press it in and box it up, and it forms around the item. Too bad you didn't have it in a box though, man, because that would have been a whole lot easier to have shipped.
Well, I made the box, but the box I did poor measuring, and I ended up having it like an inch too short. I don't know. It was a whole thing, right? You trying to rush, trying to work, get home, do my packing. I haven't done a picking. I haven't done a shipping and sipping
You haven't done a sip and dip.
2 weeks because I just by the time I have time to I'm about to get home. And then I'm like, oh, and then you eat, and then I want to set up the camera. I don't have time, so I just been packing the stuff as I go.
Folks, I will tell you, this working thing gets in the way of a whole lot of
I
fun.
agree.
But eventually, the simple truth is, and I keep saying it, you guys that are full time that watch that are full time resellers, we appreciate you. You guys that watch that aren't even resellers, we appreciate everybody watches, we appreciate. But until you have the ability, I don't want to tell you, those of you guys who are watching who want to be full time resellers, until you have the ability to make the money in your sales consistently to pay the bills so that you don't have to fret and worry about that, do not do it. Push yourself, list in the evenings, pack in the evenings, and then rest for a couple hours. It's going to take, what's that old saying? That old quote? Do now what nobody else will do so that later you can do the things everybody can't do, or something like that. Some kind of quote like that. You guys can check me on it. But that's the thing. In fact, a lot of times, Ben's and I are recording these things for you guys at odd hours. So,
Yeah, yeah. We both should be sleeping right now. But feedback of the week I got was I like the one that was perfect, just what I wanted. Quick shipping, great price. Thank you, A plus plus. And
great
that was
feedback.
from the buyer of the week, which is pack in trunk. I like that. Just pack it in the trunk. So they just bought that shit. They're going to throw it in the trunk and they'll look at it in 20 years, I guess.
They might be a reseller. Who knows? Some people buy on eBay, and we've talked against that over our podcast if you have been listening to them, because a lot of times you're trying to buy so you can make a profit. And if you're buying on eBay, then to sell on eBay, your profit margins are so small that by the time you pay the fees, you're not really making anything. But it could be. And a lot of times I've got some items, folks, that I will tell you, if you're into Disney stuffies, hit me up. I will make you a deal on a whole box of what's his name? What's the boy's name thing? I don't know. I bought them, got a good deal on it, but just for some reason they will not sell out of my store. So that's one thing coming in February I'm going to be getting rid of. There is a website that we've discussed where you can go unload some of that stuff, and people who sell that will buy it. But anyway, so we know about your buyer of the week and your feedback of the week. What about your sell of the week? Was that
It would be that distributor
made the
cap
made the most?
replacement Hemi with coil, HEI with coil, whatever
Yeah,
that is.
HEI. Yeah. So good sell, because I know
Yeah,
those
good
things.
sale made my week.
I'm shocked at what those things sell for now, though, because I remember when I was coming along rebuilding small block 350s and working on when you wanted to be carbureted. So the distributor was a huge part. Man, it cost you $300 to $500 for a distributor. But I guess those days are gone now because of fuel injection.
Yeah, and I marked it at the value. I didn't come up with that. So the crazy thing that happened to me this week was I sold something on I sold something on Grailed. I sold something on Poshmark, and then I never checked Bonanza, and I sold something on Bonanza, but I screwed that up. So
Folks, he needs some help on Bonanza. Somebody needs to start sending him a note for.
the crazy thing is, it's the item number was like 38 or something like that. No, it was 89. I lie. But so it's the 89th thing I ever listed. It was a Earl John Deere 1918 vintage runabout tractor trailer,
Okay.
and, and it sold for $45. I'm like, damn it. Now I sent them a note and said, sorry, started a new job. Uh, I will ship tomorrow. They haven't said anything to me, so I went in and quickly shipped it and I upgraded it to priority, my dime. Because it actually was only, actually it cost me like $9 more than what it would have if I would have shipped it regular. But for some reason, they got charged $20 in shipping. So I don't know what the heck that was. So it still was,
Maybe it's going somewhere fancy.
well, I use a flat rate shipping thing, so I'm good. Small flat rate box, fit into that.
You're still bad of a month considering being part-time reseller. You're not having that bad. I do think, folks, what is carrying him right is that he has and has invested in are items who are uniquely demanded. And what I mean by that is they're not in high demand,
No, they're long tail items that
but
people want eventually.
people want them. And so, with the amount of people that are coming on eBay and the amount of items he's got, he's going to continue to sell for a while.
And
Why
then
not?
I sold a Guns N' Roses concert jersey. It's like a hockey jersey. I guess one of the guys is into hockey, so I guess every tour they make a hockey jersey. I had bought them when I first started on Goodwill from Salem, Virginia. I bought like 20 of them, and it ended up being like $3 a piece with shipping, and I sold that for $79 plus shipping. So, and then I only have one left, so I've sold 19 of them. So that's not a bolo, but they sell over time.
And make pretty good money. And that's something too, folks. Um, we have not. We need to make a note, Benz, on our next pick or pass. And I know we've not either one reached our goal for our store where we were actually looking to get to with the ideas that we had or the plans. But I think we should give an update. So, folks, stay tuned for the next pick or pass
Yeah.
because we're going to be giving an update on that. We are giving a Let's give a quick update on how we're doing on our podcast here because you and I have noticed a huge uptick
Yes.
in people watching, and we again appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah. I
We're
mean,
not
we are starting to
monetized,
get,
but
yeah, and we're nowhere near that. I mean, we have 130 subscribers, and the last video we put out ended up being like 90 or 87 watches on YouTube, which we've never gotten anywhere near that. And so I know that's still, probably some people are like 87. That doesn't, but usually we
well,
get like 16, 18. I moved into that, and now we're getting
yeah,
consistently over 50, and it's growing. But we want to go to one day a week, and I think in one of our podcasts, I talked about getting rid of the pick and pass or folding it into this, and which we probably will do, or maybe do something different. We just don't have the time that we had in the past, so we're going down to one a week. This week we won't have any pick and pass on here at all. But last week we did a full pick and pass, so this week we're doing a regular episode. Got a lot of feedback saying, "Hey, don't get rid of pick and pass. That's my favorite part." And that we were thinking, well, give us some feedback. Is that the thing that makes this a little more unique? Going through that process and looking at items. Is that something you guys would rather have more? Do you give a damn how much I sold this week? I mean, do you? I don't know, but we're following the format we originally did, right? Talk about our week. We were doing what'd you learn this week? Kind of phase that out because we're not learning as much because we're kind of busy doing other things. The eBay news, we added that in there. That's kind of neat, but I listen to a lot of podcasts and everybody talks about it. Half of them have eBay news on it. So we're trying to figure out how to make this something different and unique for you guys so we can bring you back every week and watch the show. and make sure that we're not just regurgitating information you're hearing other places.
Right. Because here's the thing, we don't want it to be redundant for you guys. And if you're interested in how we're doing sales wise, let us know. We're pretty open about it. I haven't sold anything in the whole month of January, really. I think I've sold like two or three things, but it really kicked me in the butt because there again, I don't have enough items listed to continue carrying me. And it's a numbers game. It is. And that's been the idea, is to get this done so that I can get more organized so I can ship easier, because the last couple of things I shipped, man, it took me hours to find it. You've got to be organized, especially if you're working a job
Yeah,
and coming home and
it's on the side.
listing. But yeah, folks, we'd love to have some of your feedback. Again, we appreciate each and every one of you. It is exciting for us right now because we were getting like 5, 6, 10, 15. We got to where we was getting 15 watches on pretty much everything. And now we're getting consistently over 50. We appreciate each and every one of you. We just want to make
Yeah,
the show so that it's interesting for you. And we've gone back and forth because there is a lot of time that goes into this. And let us know.
yeah. Give us the feedback. I mean, we were
Comments,
thinking, if we went to smaller daily episodes, like did the pick and pass and did our things, but made them more concise, and did like 15 minutes Monday through Friday. Would that be something you guys be interested in, or do you like the long format? So that way you can listen to it in the car. So I think we have two different groups here. We got the Spotify group and we got the eBay group.
right?
Not the eBay group, but the
YouTube group.
YouTube group.
Yeah.
And on Spotify, our retention rate and listen rate, it is almost 80%. So most people listen all the way through, and some don't. On YouTube, I find that it's, if you can get people to watch half of it, you've done well. So we're putting out an hour and a half worth of video. There are people that watch it all the way through, but then there's a lot of people that only watch a few minutes of it and then or fast forward or whatever.
Let us know what they are, because we do want to trim this down, make it more concise, and
Yeah,
also get some of our time back too. But we definitely want to, we set out to do this, guys, for two things. One, to create a podcast that actually was helpful to you, the reseller, and give you some feedback, things we were learning as we learn. And number two, to chronicleize our growth
yeah, our journey.
in doing this. And here it is. It's on Spotify and Apple iTunes and YouTube. And
Yeah, and it's really taken off. I mean, we're doing much better. Even on Spotify, we're even getting comments now. We got another comment this week. Somebody was in, "Hey, I'm in San Diego. I love your show. I look forward to it every week."
sweet.
So, yeah,
I'm just,
yeah.
I can't believe people actually want to listen to.
Whoa, we're interesting
God
fellows. We
bless
might be
each
a
and every
little
one of
odd.
you.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, man, that's where we are. So on your store, I noticed that you're running a sale, 15% off. Is that part of what you're trying to
It is.
spark?
It's one of the things I'm trying to do to spark some sales, because there again, I've not had any, and I've got to pay that store fee. I have not upgraded my store fee. I'm still paying the what, $4.95 a month, I think. So it's not much. I'll pay it if I don't make it, but I want to try to make it so it pays for itself. Plus, guys,
Busy.
eBay has paid for this to occur, which you see
Hmm.
here, which is pretty awesome, actually, to think that. And so the idea now is to get this done and then let this be eBay, and let eBay then be continue paying for the remodel for the rest of our house. But yeah, so I started a thing, and I did something a little different this time. So we're switching gears here, folks. We're going to tell you just a little bit about what I tried. Always before, I did a coupon, and it's called, and it's just my term for it because of terminology with the internet. It's called a blasted coupon, and I'm not using that as an explicative, but what it does is it puts that coupon all over. You do the coupon across all items, and you do it a public coupon, and it puts it on your store. What's neat about that, and Benz, I don't know if you've got my store up, if you want to share screen the difference for what we're looking at right now. Um, but I'm doing a 15% off store sale event. And what that does, it draws a little line across your price and says was. So if you scroll, yeah, right there, it says was, da da da, da, gives a new price, 15% off. Now, the only problem I don't like about this is I've not had as much traction with doing it this way as I always did with doing one of those heavy blast coupons. In other words, a store wide coupon that I did public, and it gives it to them because it puts it in red, bright red. Here's the coupon, and then you can do 15% off. And it gives the regular price, but then they get that when they go to, I guess they go to the cart or whatever. I've never,
Yeah.
but, and it, I've looked at them before, and usually when I ran them before, I got a huge spike in the traffic hitting on the store. With this, I've been running it for almost a week now. It's going to be out on Monday, done, and it's not really created any buzz. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking that the store wide public full blasted coupons, because of the way they're set up, maybe actually attract more because it's bright red. You visit, you look at the item, and it pops up. So I'm thinking that maybe it works a little bit better, and I will let you know because as soon as this one ends, I'm going to go and do the store coupon again for the last week of January, and we'll see. Kind of, I'll then have a report on our next one, which actually did work better because I'm going to do the same amount, 15%. I'm just going to do, instead of doing the store sell event, I'm going to do the store coupon, public blasted coupon. So we'll see. Just again, folks, trying to figure out, being the guinea pig for you, which actually works better. And so far, I'm leaning back towards the way I was doing it rather than the store wide sales event.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll try that and find out and give us some feedback and tell us what you think.
Getting a little chilly down here, folks. I'm going to turn on some heat.
You got to turn on the heat. Got to keep it hot.
But yeah, that's just one of the things. So, what am I learning? I'm in the learning process right now. So, there's one thing
Yeah.
of seeing which works better, because if not, I'm going to have to cough up out of my own pocket, which I have not had to do. I went back and looked, Fitz. I have not had to pay my store fee
Yeah.
since October of 2023. I've not had to pay that $4.95 store fee.
That's good, man. I mean, yeah,
So
I haven't paid mine in a long time,
actually,
but
no, wait a minute. October was when I switched to the store, so I had to pay it then. It was January of 2024 was the last time I actually had to pay it.
I knew you were lying. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm talking about once because you always have to pay the
Yeah.
end.
Pay it to start.
Pay
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
start, and then I did pretty well. Sold a couple items, and then but yeah, January was the last time of 2024. So it has been a year, folks, since I've had to pay it out of my own pocket. You think about it, that's basically $5 a month. That's $60 for the year. Yeah, that's terrible when you think about it. But I mean,
Can't even get $5 this
it's
month.
terrible that I'm not even getting $5 this month. So I'll let you know which works better because, like I said, I'm gonna turn right around and do. Let's talk a little bit about some other things, Benz, that I'm realizing in my own, in what I work in, financial services and insurance and all that. And we were talking back around Christmas, a couple of our podcasts, how it seemed like our sales were down a little bit for Christmas from what they had been.
Yeah.
And now we're finding out from Q4 reports that the whole entire retail sector was down for this Christmas, folks. So if you're disappointed, maybe you're listening to this thinking about quitting, or I don't know if I should get into it. Here's the thing: you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. But from the looks of everything, I would say that we need to really push and make sure you're holding some items back over this next year. I'm going to do that. I'm going to hold some items back that I think will really sell come around November, and I'm not going to list them. I'm going to hold them, and then I'm going to push them out there around October and put them out there because I think that we're going to see a huge comeback in Q3 and Q4 this coming year for retail, and I think eBay is going to be at the forefront of that as things pick up. I really do, folks. Plus, we're seeing a lot of, what is this? Our government's now threatening all these, and our the president of the United States. I won't say necessarily ours. I don't know which way you guys lean. I don't know. I'm not getting into that political
No,
spectrum.
it's not.
But here's the thing: we all know he's in there and he's talking tariff. And if you go back and look, folks, eBay numbers jumped because I went and looked. They jumped during the last time he launched a bunch of tariffs. Why? Because demand doesn't go away.
Yeah.
But if you can't find it on a store, you're going to start looking for pre-owned. And who's the number one pre-owned?
eBay,
That's
bitches.
right. So
Yeah, you talk about, the other thing you got to look at. I think, this year the tax thing was $5,000. 2020 or last year. So if you made more than $5,000, they're going to report it to the IRS.
1099K. Yep.
1099K. Next year it's set at $2,500, and then 2026 it supposedly is going to go back to the $600. So if you're selling on eBay now and you're trying to make this a business and you want to make money and you're going to do the right thing and pay your taxes, I think this year with the $2,500, there's going to be a lot of people that drop out, you know, and say, "Oh, well, I don't want to pay taxes on that." Or especially once it gets to the $600, you'll probably start seeing less sellers.
I don't disagree with the whole $600 thing, folks. If you're an independent, if you've ever worked as an independent contractor, done any work, anytime you get paid over $600 or more, it gets reported. eBay's kind of had a little bit of a break there. eBay resellers had a huge break because at one time it was like 20 some thousand.
Yeah, up last year it was 20 grand, and every year before that was $20,000.
So now we'll wait and see because I have heard that there is some lobbying going on because Amazon sellers are in kind of the same boat, is what I'm
Yeah,
hearing. And there, you never know. The larger this community gets between Poshmark, Bonanza, of course, we know eBay, Amazon, Macari, if it's still hanging around, the bigger this community gets, the more pressure that it's going to be able to put on those that make those decisions. But
yeah,
also, the bigger it gets, the more they're going to look at us and eye us as cash cows.
yeah. It's two ways to look at that for sure.
Yeah. Just here's the sentiments. I'm going to boil it down for Ben's and I. Do it the right way. We don't want to read it. We don't want we don't want eBay news. eBay resellers arrested in IRS sting. I mean,
Yes,
no, just do it the right way.
pay your taxes, people.
And if you don't know how to do it the right way, contact an accountant.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? If I'm an S corp. There's a lot of write-offs you can take. So do it the right way. But I'm not saying don't take off your write-offs. Do whatever you got to do to make sure you're doing everything legal and right, and that way you can get your tax money back. And depends on how much you sell too. Once you get to a certain level, you have to start paying quarterly taxes. I haven't gotten there yet.
No, either.
Yeah, they owe you money this month.
I,
You're on like a HUD thing or
I'm not
something.
even getting a
Welfare.
1099K for last year. I didn't make enough to get the.
That's
So
all right. Next year you're going to, even if they didn't drop it.
that's the
So
idea
or this year.
is to keep going and pushing forward because unlike Ben's, folks, my expenses, because I live in a cheaper state, it's cheaper for me to live where I'm at. And so I've got a little bit shorter run to get to that full time
Yeah,
reseller.
I know. Well, not beyond that. I live a little bit crazy of a lifestyle. So that's
You live in Florida, and let's face
yeah,
it, you were in California. You
hmm
saved money by moving to Florida, but on the
for sure.
East Coast,
It's still a high dollar place.
Florida is one of the high dollar states.
We'll see what happens. Today I was, I took this job and I'm excited about my new job. And one of the reasons I took it is because I wasn't getting any calls. And then after the first year, I have all people reaching out for me for jobs I put in for like in November and in October. I can see. I think the everything got kind of put on hold. I think they put it on hold until after the election, and then it's almost Thanksgiving. Oh, it's almost Christmas. And it's crazy when someone calls you 4 months later and says, "Hey, I got this. I'd like you to come in for an interview." I'm like, "What? I assumed you didn't like me." So I would.
We talked about it one time on a different podcast, and I guess that's what makes this podcast really unique. So we talk about so many other things just other than we talk about life.
Yeah,
And Indeed was saying that it was taking longer. for job placement. And for those anybody making 50,000 or above, you could expect to wait twice what the average was before. If you go back and
Yeah.
look, prior to 20, and they were saying twice what it was before the pandemic. If you go back and look, the average was 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Now they're talking 12. That's
Yes.
3 months. That's 90 days.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been crazy too. I was the same boat for me. So folks, if you're out there looking for a job right now, you're like, I really want to be a full-time eBay real seller, but I'm working my job. Keep it.
Yes.
If you're looking for a job, don't give up. Keep pressing forward because
I really do think that I wasn't ready. I'm not ready to be a full time reseller. I've where I am, and I probably could if I really wanted to, but I'm not ready mentally to do that. I want to do it as a part
I
time gig.
think you probably could if we put
Yeah,
timers on your TV.
yeah. I haven't gotten into TV. I just rewatched Justified for like the third
That's a
time.
good show.
It's a good show, man.
Anyway, so
Drop.
let's talk about some more eBay things.
You know what I learned this week? That some places ice their croissants. So if you ever see a place with ice croissants, like
I just gonna
like
tell us something about eBay.
I don't know. I'm just telling you. I've been because I'm working at two different stores and I'm doing it. So I'm going out to different places to eat. And then one day I was like, I'm not really that hungry, but there's a donut shop. So I'll go ahead and check out the donut shop. And they had like a regular donuts, glazed donuts. There you go. This place had glazed croissants. I just got one because I was like, oh, let me try that. I went back and bought 6 pack. They were delicious.
That's an interesting item.
Yeah,
You mentioned donuts because I'm in the land of Krispy Kreme. This is where the area
yeah.
where I live is where Krispy Kreme was founded.
Mm-hmm.
And so I come across Krispy Kreme items every now and again, like original Krispy Kreme stuff, and I wonder if it's got a market. Maybe we'll do that on Pick or Pass.
Pick and pass. We'll look that up. We'll look that up.
See if it's worth anything or not.
Well, I'm sure it has a following of some sort, and I don't think it was mass produced like Coca Cola. So
No, Coca Cola stuff. You got to be careful because a whole lot of it's remade.
yeah, and beyond that, even the stuff that wasn't remade, it is they mass produce everything. So
Hobby Lobby, man. My wife loves
mhm.
Hobby Lobby, but you got to be careful. When you're out here searching, you come across something, you're like, oh, that's awesome. And it's in great condition. And then you flip it over,
Yeah,
Hobby Lobby. And you're like, man, it's not an original.
yeah.
That's not worth.
Even paintings, I buy paintings all the time, and you'll see that on the back. As soon as I see Hobby Lobby, I put it down. Or what's the other place where everybody buys stuff at?
It used to be like Michael's was one of them.
Yeah, Michaels was one of them.
I can't remember. But
Yeah, there's a bunch of places like that. And just regular like cheap retail that makes it's a cheap retail item that looks like something that'd be worth something.
there's one in women's clothes. What is it? There's one that does that in women's clothes too. I can't remember the name of them. And I got a bunch of them. And I was like, when I looked it up and I was like, nope.
Sheen,
I was like,
Sheen.
this is the cheap
Yeah, that
brand.
got me when I first started. My wife, she wears good clothes, and then I noticed she had these her stretch pants or whatever the yoga pants were Sheen. I'm like, and I saw them out. I'm like, oh, these are the ones my wife wears. They must be expensive. She's like, those are like $10 new. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to be careful.
yeah. I'm like, yeah. I don't know nothing about clothes. I just know I have to wear it.
Luckily, folks, we have smartphones. And if you
Yes.
use them, you can go through. So use them as a tool. Now, unfortunately, the internet and smartphones has been the downfall of some things too. Just ask Beanie Babies, but
Yeah, yeah.
and McDonald's Monopoly, you'll never see that game again because the word got out and they got sued. But so you learned about donuts is that's awesome.
No, no. I learned about glazed
Glazed
croissants.
croissants.
I'd known about donuts for a long damn time. Just this is like I've never seen a glazed croissant before.
That's something new.
They were delicious. I
Anyway,
may have eaten 6 of them. Oh, seven actually. The one I had, and then I bought 6 more. I'm like, I'm gonna take these home to my wife, and I took them, put them in the car, and then when I go out on break, I'm like, I'll just have one more. And then when I got home, I'm like, oh, the box is empty.
inbox is empty.
Whoops. She's like, what are we having for dinner? I'm like, I'm just not hungry today. I'm kind of watching what I'm eating.
Yeah. Yeah, you will watch yourself eat
I
glazed
was,
croissants all day long.
And we found that, I'm over there. So I'm, in St. Petersburg and I'm in Largo for the company. And so I'm asking her, where's the best place to get a pizza here? And I went and got the pizza from both of those places. They were both good. The one in St. Pete was Tony's Original something or other. Tony's Original Little Italy. That's the best pizza I've ever had in my life.
Hmm.
And I've been over there for 3 weeks, and I think we've had four pizzas from there, and one from some other place. It was okay, but I don't like it. The crust had no flavor. You know, yeah, I don't know.
You're making me hungry, man.
Had
For
lasagna
Christmas.
today. I got a cheesesteak. I've been eating all kinds of shit.
Speaking of pizza for Christmas, and this, I'm debating whether this should end up on eBay or I should keep it. But I got a wood-fired pellet. It uses wood pellets, but it's basically a wood-fired pizza oven.
Wow.
And
Bring that to Pick and Pass, and we'll find out whether you should keep it or not.
okay, yeah, I'll bring it.
Take a picture, man.
But I don't know. Is there anything else we need to talk? We've covered. We've run through the normal stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, guy. I wish we could have a live where we get live feedback. Should we do an eBay news? Is there any eBay news popping up? I don't know that there really is anything new yet.
I'm sure there is. There's eBay news all the time, but I
Yeah, but
I didn't look it up because we're running behind. So
anything interesting? And that's the thing is, you see the normal stuff. Ah, this, that. But I know that the eBay Council thing has completely gone away.
yeah,
Um,
we talked about that.
yeah, and it finally has completely gone away. I know that eBay has started putting, they've got like a whole nother channel now.
Yes.
Something new that I didn't know, and it may just be new to me, but when you actually look at an item, folks, they will tell you now if somebody else puts a bid on that item if you watch it.
Yeah.
I had never experienced that before, but I did this week.
They said somebody's bid on it, huh?
Yeah, they
Good
said,
game then.
"Hurry now! Somebody has made. The seller has received a competing offer." I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, that's cool." I'm not going to rush off right now, and
Yeah. So one article I just looked up real quick because of keeping up with this shit. eBay is testing a new feature called Shop More and Ship Together, designed to allow buyers to save by the shipping costs by combining purchases. So what they're doing is, I know this from before, but they can come back buy something from you and not pay for it if they. I think it's on bidded stuff for
mm-hmm.
7 days, and they can say, "Hey, I'm going to buy more," so then they get 7 days to pay. But I mean, on the discussion boards, people are complaining. That's saying a lot of people are opting for, "Hey, yeah, I'm going to buy more," and then never, and then wait 7 days and don't buy anything else, and then they go ahead and ship it out because they just put it off for 7 days. They've also had people who are canceling on the fourth and fifth day now. Like they buy it and then they hold on to it, and then I guess the one of the sellers was saying they felt like they were shopping around, then found it for a better price, and then just canceled theirs. Might not be the good thing we thought it would be.
I will say this. I'm looking here, revising payment terms of use to better describe the payment services we provide to you as part of this revision. We have clarified which payment options are typically made available to buyers on eBay website. Further, the terms related to the settlement and availability of funds have been revised for sellers residing in regions outside of the European Economic Area and Switzerland. Basically, as of February 4th, 2025, there will be updates made to the payments terms of use, and that's for everybody involved. And then some specialty for those in the European Economic Area. Folks, I am not going to read this 4,000 page update to you. If you have any questions, feel free to go read that on your own. I'm not doing it.
Why not? Come on,
No,
you started it.
no, I'm just letting you know. Um, we talked about the carrier rate changes, didn't we?
Yes. So another thing in eBay Germany is changing how the ads fees are attributed to promoted listings, effective January 26, 2025. Sellers will now be charged if an advertised item is sold within 30 days of a buyer clicking on the ad, regardless of whether or not the final purchaser saw the ad.
Wow. Now that's
So,
in Germany. Is that happening in the U.S.?
well, they start everything in Germany or over in Europe and try it in their smaller markets and see what happens.
So basically, what they're telling us is you're going to pay promoted fees on it regardless. You're going to pay the
Yeah.
promoted ad fees regardless.
One of the biggest concerns is the policy could encourage revenge clicking, where a user would click on a competitor's ad to increase their costs as a seller because they don't have to buy it to get them charged any kind of ad they're doing. This could cause a concerns about fairness and potential abuse by other sellers in your market clicking on your item and causing you to pay your advertising fee even though the person that bought it never saw the ad.
Wow.
That's a dick move. I like that one. I'm gonna remember that. They do that here,
Yeah.
clicking on all this shit.
There's already dick moves. We've had it happen to us. They'll buy your item, you send them an offer, they're a watcher, and they buy it. They don't ever pay you for it. And they do
Hmm.
that to get your item out of the way so that their item is the same
Yeah,
one, sells quicker or sells for more money. And you and I both have experienced that. Anything else? Yeah, I can see how that could be abused. Honestly, I think they need to drop this promoted fees. I know that they're making more money with it, but it's so much convoluted with it. And I think they just need to drop it. Or just go ahead and charge it regardless. If the item sells, it sells and charge it. Because all of us are sitting here, we're hoping it's somebody who didn't see the ad. If we're paying promoted, we're hoping somebody buys it who didn't see it and we don't have to pay it, but we're willing to pay it because we go ahead and do it. So but if you're going to do that, then you might as well just promote like you're supposed to or like you promise us you will
yeah.
and raise do away the promoted and change the base fee 2 or 3 points. It'll suck, but I'm already paying 12 and a half or 13. So if you give me 5 more points and I don't have to do promoted at 10, then it's still cheaper for me.
So yeah, so this there's a guy. I think you know this, but one of the sellers on the forum here is talking about. David shared a troubling experience about eBay loophole that might harm sellers. He said, despite marking the item as not returnable and denying the buyer's request to return it, the buyer returned the item anyway. And the U.S. Postal Service delivery confirmation opened a dispute with the credit card company, which ruled in favor. eBay then refunded the buyer and charged David a $20 dispute fee. So it was marked as no returns, and the person wanted to return it anyway. He said no, you can't. They went back to their credit card, who then brought it up to eBay. Then eBay had to refund the buyer, and then it charged that guy $20 because he did the wrong thing on an item that was originally $14.95. He should have just took it back.
Yeah. Yeah, he should have just said, just send it back.
Yeah,
And that's why I do accept returns, but Ben,
but you have to, right?
yeah,
You don't have to pay for it to ship back to you, but you got to accept returns because everything on eBay is guaranteed. And if the customer doesn't think they got what they should have got, eBay is going to make you take it back anyway.
right.
So
You're going to eat it anyway.
exactly. And so
So
this guy didn't eat the 14.95.
you ended up eating no more than money.
$20 cost him $5 extra because he said no. I said it was not no returns accepted. So you can't do that.
Yeah, so what I have is I have returns accepted, buyer paid. So you got to pay to ship it back to me.
Yeah, and I do that on anything I have that's oversized. But all my other stuff, I just do. I pay the return. And since I've been doing that for like a year and a half now, I've only gotten like 3 returns. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I think if you
My problem,
just accept returns, I think it helps you sell because people are more apt to spend money with you. If you're saying, no, no, you can't return it, that makes me think, oh, there's something wrong with it. And you don't want
right?
it
I
back.
say returns accepted, but at buyer's expense. And here's the reason I fathom that, and it may be a little weird, but if I go to a store and I buy something and I get it
Yeah.
home and I want to take it back, the store doesn't give me gas money.
Yeah.
I take it back to the store and they give me the
Hmm.
money back for the item.
Makes sense.
So I look at it the same way. I'm a store. You bought it. I shipped it to you. You don't want it. You ship it back. I give you your money back. Now the thing is, I've had that. I have had one return now, potential return, and I told the guy, I said, you know what, just keep it. Don't worry about it. Just keep it. Here's your money back minus the shipping because I am not going to refund the shipping.
Yeah, I do that too.
I
I'll say
mean,
yeah, they'll open a return. I'm like, if you send it back, if you ship it back to me, I'll actually refund their shipping. So, and that's the way I think you should do it. Or you can just throw it away and we'll call it even. And that way I don't have to pay shipping both ways. So, all right. Well, hey, man, we've almost gotten to an hour and we kind of we stretched this one out. That's awesome. I didn't think we were going to make it that long. Thank you guys for stopping by. It's been a great show. Joel, you got anything else to add for today?
just keep listing. You only sell what you
What you list,
list, and you
and you only list what you sell. Well, you list a bunch of extra shit. The
yeah,
kid said
you list.
just
That's it.
like
It doesn't work in reverse.
no. I'm dyslexic. I thought it worked the other way.
No,
I'm like, just list everything.
and again, remember, everything sells eventually.
And it does. I just sold that, it was the 89th thing I listed. And I'm up to like, I don't know, like 4,800 or something like that. So,
Really, are you at 4,800
yeah.
items?
Well,
Items listed or items sold?
I know I'm talking total, right? So, right now, what do I have? You make me think. I have 3,500 items that are listed, and I have 1,700 that sold. So that's more than that. Yeah. So that's four, six, it's like 5,200 items I've listed.
And
That's
don't forget
crazy.
to comment, guys, on what's your favorite part of the show. And again, we're going to shake things up a little bit. We have to.
Yeah.
We've gone back and forth about taking some things out or going to one. We're probably not going to do that. We just love you
We
guys.
might go to one regular episode and do the pick and pass in smaller bite size segments.
Might,
I think that's what we're going to do. We'll do one, and it'll just be like a 10-minute video.
I still think we should get like a newsreel thing, like weekend update on SNL, and do it live on Sundays at 6 o'clock.
All right, there you go.
I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding. We're not,
All right. Today in the news.
but anyway, yeah, we've stretched this one out, folks. We're glad each and every one of you. We appreciate each and every one of you to watch this. Take your time too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you've got friends in reselling, point them our way. We'd love to talk to them, and
Yeah.
we'd love to have more guests on.
I know. I got to get that's on me. I have people that want to get on here, or I don't know if they want to get on here. I'll say this again. They told me they would get on here. I don't want to put words in their mouth like that. Oh, they're dying to get on here. That's not the point. But
They might not
I
want
know
to.
'em. They're like, hey, yeah, I'll come on your show. I guess I got as
Well,
long as I got nothing better to do.
whatever happened, we actually got invited to a show too. We got to get that set up.
I know.
So, folks, you might see us on some others. You know
Brown.
what I noticed though, going back through some of our old stuff, folks? My beard. I miss my beard. Alex, I'm growing my beard back out, buddy. I miss it. I'm growing it back out.
I like the little, just a little like stubble. That works for me.
I miss my beard.
You poor thing.
I shaved it
A
I
lot of things
shaved
I
it
miss
for
in life.
promotion and didn't get it.
Yeah, that was disheartening.
Yeah. Don't shave your beard, folks. If you love your beard, don't shave it.
Yeah.
But
You
anyway.
be you. Have a good week. Talk to you next week.